This message comes from Scholastic with the new novel El Niño, an entrancing adventure from beloved and award-winning author of Esperanza Rising, Pam Munoz-Ryan. Jason Reynolds calls it a brilliant amalgamation of myth, nature, sport, and loss. I've never read anything like it. El Niño is available wherever books are sold.
Hello and welcome to Car Talk from National Public Radio with us, Click and Clack, the Tappet Brothers, and we're broadcasting this week from the ranting and raving harness here at Car Talk Plaza. Stand back! My brother is whipped up for a good old-fashioned rant and rave. You know, and you've been so good about taking the pills
I haven't
recently.
ranted and raved on the air, I don't believe, for maybe 5-6 years. Or was it weeks? Whatever.
No, I mean, it used to be almost a weekly occurrence.
It was almost a weekly occurrence, but as I get older...
You forget, I just forget the stuff.
I know I'm angry about something, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
No, it's that I've been trying to calm down. But this one thing has been bothering me, as you probably know when I bring up the subject, has been bothering me for a long time, and it's been festering. Horsepower. Horsepower and the emphasis on speed. And what really got to me was the Lexus advertising in which the GS400 is reputed to go from 0 to 60 miles an hour in 5 or 6 seconds or some ridiculously small number.
6.3 seconds or something.
Whatever. I think
Don't
Motor Trend even says like 5.7 seconds, which might be. And the advertisements focus on speed. That was the beginning. Then, last night, I see an ad for a Toyota Corolla, also makers of what? Lexus. Toyota, now turning into a Toyota rant. But I'll try to spread it out as far as I can so I can alienate everybody. Get this. Here's the Corolla ad. Two guys are sitting in a car, sort of lying back, and they've just eaten their lunch. They're obviously on their lunch hour. And then one guy looks at his watch and he says, it's 5:01. He says, we ought to start heading back. And the other guy says, nah, no hurry. And they wait until 1:01. And then it shows the car speeding like mad. And they pull into the parking lot at work just on time. Now, do they not have any moral sense? Don't they know that speed is what kills people? Let me add to that. My buddies at, of all places, Mercedes-Benz. What are they doing? They're putting V8 engines in cars that could go with 4-cylinder engines.
But they'll go what with V8s?
Faster.
There you go.
They go faster. So here's the point. We have to somehow stop these jerks because they can't stop themselves. They know it's not right to make cars that will go faster and faster and then promote the fact that they'll go faster and faster. I'm fed up with them.
I told you how to stop it.
How do we stop it?
Anyone that's victimized by a car that is too fast and has been sold to somebody with ads that promote the fact that it's fast, has to sue the company that makes the car.
I like the ramming idea. I'm trying to put together a band of vigilantes who all own heaps and are willing to sacrifice their lives and their cars just to smash into everyone who drives fast.
So after you and Dick Malio join, who else is going to be?
That will be it. No, but I tell you, I'm so angry at Toyota that I would support a boycott against all Toyota products because of their stupidity in this advertising. And I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it. Can I stop now?
God,
I'm working up a sweat.
Quick, get the fanners in here.
But the truth is that it is unconscionable, and they have no moral sense to push this kind of advertising, and I won't stand for it. I will not buy a Toyota all year. No Toyotas, 1 year. That's it.
Can we take a...
I feel a little better now.
Can we take a call?
And I'm not going to buy any Mercedes for a year either. because of the V8s. There's no reason for a V8 in those cars. That's it.
Unnecessary.
Unnecessary.
Can we take a call?
Sure.
You okay?
Not yet.
You okay?
I'm better.
What do you want? Want a glass of water?
I'll be all right.
1-888-CAR-TALK. That's 1-888-227-8255.
You remembered it. That's good.
Yeah. Hello. You're on Car Talk.
Hello, this is Kathy from Old Lyme, Connecticut.
Hi, Kathy from
Kathy
Old
with
Lyme.
a C.
With a what?
C.
No.
Old Lyme?
Lyme with
a K?
With a Y.
It's yes, Lyme with a Y, Kathy with a K.
No kidding.
Yes.
So what's up, Kathy?
Well, I have a 96 Dodge Stratus, and I got it last spring. And this fall, after I had driven it, maybe 25, 30 miles, the exhaust started smelling like burnt popcorn.
That's a new one. Burnt popcorn.
Well, it took us a while to try to figure out what it smelled like, and
Yeah.
I've got 2 adolescent sons, and we hemmed and hawed and finally figured out, closest we could come up with was burnt popcorn.
Yeah.
And it's definitely coming from the exhaust,
Out the tailpipe.
the tailpipe, right.
Burnt popcorn, huh?
Well,
Wow.
I'm wondering if it might be, I don't drive very far on a very regular basis. I work within a mile or two of where I live, so I do a lot of short little trips.
Well, I'm going to tell you what I
That's
believe.
got nothing to do with it.
No, because I was wondering if I was developing a primordial soup in my muffler.
You
No.
may be, but I think the smell is not really coming from your muffler or coming out the tailpipe, but it is coming from the engine
You
compartments.
think so?
And I think the most likely thing to make a smell like this is a very small oil leak. And somehow or another, the oil is dripping onto your exhaust system, and when it's vaporized, it makes this smell.
Yeah, and it's very unlikely that something coming out the tailpipe would smell of burnt popcorn. Now, you have a couple of teenagers?
Actually, one teenager and a 12-year-old.
Close enough. You get them to go walking around the car, sticking their nose up that tailpipe, and see.
Asphyxiate them good here.
No, they'll be all right. And
After you revive them.
And I'll bet you they'll find that the smell is not, in fact, coming from the tailpipe, but is coming from under the hood.
You could alternatively, instead of exposing your children to carcinogens,
I could do it to my husband, right?
Yeah, sure. Let your husband do it.
you could take it to the dealer and ask them to put it on the lift and look for an oil leak. And I bet you they're going to find something like your oil pressure switch is leaking or the valve cover gasket is leaking.
Okay.
See you, Kathy.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
1-888-CAR-TALK. That's 888-227-8255. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
This is Dave. I'm up in Hanover, Massachusetts.
Dave, Hanover.
Where's that?
About 20 minutes south of Boston.
Oh, that's like down the Cape, sort of.
Yeah, about halfway.
I've never been. Is it exciting?
No, it's kind of a quiet little sleepy town.
Yeah.
Little suburb.
So what's on your mind, Dave?
Well, I have an 89 Volkswagen Golf that I've had for about 3 years now. It's got about 130,000 miles on it. Every once in a while, it starts to click as you're driving it. And then when you're driving along, it all of a sudden the whole front end will start to shake, like the car's about to shake apart.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah, but it doesn't do it all the time. And I have no idea what makes it do it and what doesn't make it do it. And I brought it to a mechanic, and they had no idea what it was.
Is the clicking in step with the rotation of the wheels?
It sounds like it.
And it would stop if you stopped.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as you took off again, you'd begin to get clicks more or less in step with the speed of the wheels.
Yes.
Wow.
And it's accompanied by a vibration.
Yes.
This sounds dangerous, Dave.
Yeah, I was going to say I have to preface everything my brother is going to tell you by saying that whenever you have vibrations in the front end, it's probably something dangerous, or at least you should assume that it's something dangerous.
It feels dangerous.
So you've had
Sure
people
it
look
is.
at this.
I have had people look at it. And they replaced something, and it stopped for about a week and a half, and then it started again.
Ooh.
Had it ever gone a week and a half without doing it before?
Oh, yeah, it goes for 2 weeks without doing it. And then all of a
So
sudden
they
it'll
may
start-
not have done diddly when they replaced whatever they replaced.
Yeah?
Well, I think I know what it is.
Do you really?
I think.
Okay.
I think what you have, Dave, is
Yeah.
a bad constant velocity joint, which would account for the clicking and also account for the shaking. Because what's happening is one of the
seizing up?
balls in there must be broken. The constant velocity joint has, in this car, I think, 6 ball bearings
Okay.
that are embedded in a cage that fit into And there's a male part of the joint and a female. And
See, and what you're missing, Dave, is my brother's hands.
What?
See, as he's talking to you, he's making little shapes and he's pushing things together.
Well, I have to do that to explain it to myself. The first step is making sure I know how it works. In any event, one of these little ball bearings, which are about a half an inch in diameter, has probably broken and probably occasionally jams itself so that it inhibits the free movement of the outer part of the Zeppa joint.
Okay.
And when that happens, it actually, as it turns, whenever it comes to this bad ball and it can't flex, it momentarily slows that wheel down.
All right.
And then as soon as it passes, it speeds it up. And it would be the equivalent of you're driving the car and having somebody apply the brake for just a split second
to the right-hand wheel.
To the right or the left front wheel.
Okay.
And when that happens, the car is going to shake violently.
All right.
And then the ball either gets chewed up some more or gets moved around, and the noise goes away, and so does the shaking.
See, now this is the time, Dave, when you're supposed to say, well, they just replaced all the CV joints in the car.
Well, I had a hint that they hadn't.
No, they hadn't, because it would have cost more money and he wouldn't have forgot.
What did they replace?
I think they replaced the rotors, actually.
Yeah, well, that would have been a good start, but...
But you guys think it's one of these...
well, we start with stuff like that, too, because we want to make sure we have the customer coming back until we finally get it.
Yeah, no, I have to say that I think my brother's analysis of this situation is quite brilliant.
Okay. It explains everything.
It explains everything. It's absolutely perfect.
Oh, yeah.
And as you know, I don't let him get away with much.
Oh, I know. He's a pain in the butt. But ask them to replace one of the axles. Put a rebuilt one or a used one in there.
Okay.
And then drive the car. They may even, when they take the axles out, be able to figure out if they strip off the boots, which joint is bad.
I think they will.
All right. And how much will that cost, do you guys think?
Hundreds.
$100?
Golf? $212.85. That includes the tax and tip.
And licensing fees. See you, Dave.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Good luck.
It's time to find out if my brother remembers last week's puzzler.
Of course I remember last week's puzzle. Last week's puzzler was about the Bugatti and the Renault.
Okay, I didn't think so. Okay.
No,
it was about our esteemed producer and a little problem he had.
Oh.
This message comes from Wise, the app for doing things in other currencies. With Wise, you can send, spend, or receive money across borders, all at a fair exchange rate. No markups or hidden fees. Join millions of customers and visit wise.com. T's and C's apply.
We've all been there, running around a city looking for a bathroom, but unable to find one.
Hello. Do you have a restroom we could use?
A very simple free market solution is that we could just pay to use a bathroom, but we can't. On the Planet Money podcast, the story of how we once had thousands of paid toilets and why they got banned. From Planet Money on NPR, wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm Tanya Mosley, co-host of Fresh Air. At a time of sound bites and short attention spans, our show is all about the deep dive. We do long-form interviews with people behind the best in film, books, TV, music, and journalism. Hear our guests open up about their process and their lives in ways you've never heard before. Listen to the Fresh Air podcast from NPR and WHYY.
When the Star Wars prequels came out, they were polarizing. Many fans of the original trilogy hated The Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith, though many younger fans loved them then and love them still. So we're rewatching them with fresh eyes 20 years later. From Jar Jar Binks to the climactic no that broke the internet in half, listen on NPR's Pop Culture Happy Hour podcast.
Hi, we're back. You're listening to Car Talk with us, Click and Clack, the Tappert Brothers. And as promised, here is the answer to last week's puzzler.
What was the question? Oh, you're going to tell it?
I'm going to give you the question first.
And the answer.
I could just give you just the answer? Maybe I should just do that.
Yeah, you should just do that.
Long, long ago, when he was but a lad, our producer, Dougie Berman, had 3 girlfriends. This was before he was married, I think.
Now he's only got 2.
Anyway, he had 3 girlfriends, and he would juggle them. On Monday, he would visit one. Tuesday, he'd visit another. And Wednesday, the third one. And then he'd repeat the process. And each time he would make one of these visits, he would drive his car. But before he could drive his car, because it was a real heap, he'd have to go through a little ritual. He would open the hood. He'd have to top off the coolant because he was leaking coolant. He'd have to top off the power steering fluid. That leaked too. He'd have to fill up the oil because he was burning oil like crazy. Blew smoke out the tailpipe, the whole bit, Anyway, he closes the hood, drives to girlfriend number one's house, and pulls into the driveway and parks the car. He follows the same procedure each day. He pulls as far into the driveway as he can so the other girlfriends won't see this jalopy because it's easily recognized.
Yeah.
He does this for girlfriend number one on Monday, number two on Tuesday, number three on Wednesday. But when he pulls into girlfriend number three's driveway, an interesting thing happens. Fire erupts under the hood. The thing bursts into flames, at which point he jumps out of the car, throws open the hood, removes his pants, and beats out the flames.
Wow.
Once the fire is out, he goes into the house and tries to explain to her parents why he's coming to meet her with no pants on. This goes on and on.
Dougie, you did all this? I'm impressed, man.
Girlfriend number one, no problem.
Yeah.
Girlfriend number two, no problem. Number three, same problem.
Yeah.
Burst into flames.
Yeah.
He can't explain it. He takes this as an omen and dumps the other two, figuring any girl that can set his pants on fire is going to be worth sticking around with. So now you have all the facts.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a rather lengthy narrative.
Yeah, I just figured it out as you were speaking.
What is it about his visit to girlfriend number three that causes this conflagration under the hood and ultimately in his pants?
Does it have something to do with power steering fluid and the shape of the driveway?
Exactly.
Does it?
You looked at my notes.
No. No, it just,
exactly
it
right.
just
I
came to
mentioned earlier in the story that he added coolant.
Yeah.
He's leaking coolant. He's adding oil, but he's burning oil.
Burning the oil. The coolant's not going to
adds power steering fluid.
Power steering fluid.
When he pulls into the driveway of girlfriend number three, he has to make a very sharp turn. He has a leak in the high-pressure power steering hose, and when the wheel is cut all the way, the increased pressure in the system
squirts it out
onto the hot exhaust manifold, and that small amount of fluid whoo, bursts into flame.
Yeah.
And we know the rest of the story. He
Now you know.
Takes his pants off, et cetera, et cetera. And it was only because she had a driveway that had a much sharper turn than the other two.
Wow.
That he had to remove his pants.
And that's how Sip became Mrs. Doug Berman.
How unfortunate, huh?
Poor kid.
And who might our winner be this week, Tommy?
Oh, I don't know. Wait a minute. Here it is. The winner is Ed Clopton from Iowa City, Iowa. And for having this correct answer chosen at random from among the thousands of right answers that we got this week, maybe 3.
4.
Our buddy Ed Clopton was going to get one of our 10th anniversary.
Ed, come on down, man.
The 10th anniversary Car Talk t-shirts that has the current slogan, celebrating 10 years of bad car advice. Congratulations to Ed Clopton from Iowa City, Iowa. That's so he'll spend $5 and buy the tape of this show because his name is so prominently mentioned. And that $5 will go toward pieces for my dart.
Anyway, we'll have a brand new puzzler coming up in the third half of today's show. So don't touch that dial. In the meantime, we'll take your calls at 1-888-CAR-TALK. That's 888-227-8255. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
Hi, this is Danny in the Dalles, Oregon.
Danny?
Yes.
In where, Oregon?
The Dalles.
How do you spell it?
T-H-E, second word, D-A-L-L-E-S.
D-A-L-L-E-S.
Right.
And what are the dolls?
It means actually the water running over the rocks. That's what you get when you have French fur trappers naming your town.
Ah, okay.
Pierre, les dalles. Oh, oui, oui.
Exactly.
I'm with you now. Okay.
Okay.
So what's up, Danny?
Well, here's my situation. I just made the biggest automotive mistake of my life. Wow. And my husband
tuned in a second time, huh?
Well, and my husband and I can't quite agree on how to solve it, and we agreed that whatever you guys said would go.
Really?
Cool.
Yeah. So you have the power in your hands.
And how is your relationship with your husband otherwise?
Excellent.
So we should try as much as we can to help you out of the problem.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We will.
Okay, I was in pregnancy-induced insanity about 4 months ago. 100-degree weather, 9 months pregnant. Decided I needed to get rid of my little Honda Civic and buy a family car.
Yeah.
So I went out and bought an '89 Range Rover wagon.
Ah.
It's really cute, and it's cute. That was the only thing I liked about it.
Yeah, that'll do it.
And my husband is like a very conservative banker. And he wanted a plain Jeep, something reliable.
Yeah.
And I bought this horrible car.
So you went out and made a unilateral decision.
I did. I
just
bought it by
bought
myself.
it.
Oh, you did?
Accidentally. Well, that's a different story. I didn't mean to buy it quite the way I did, but I did.
But you bought it, and he comes home from work one night, and you say, honey.
Worse. I say, honey, we have to go pick up the car. We bought it from, not a dealership, from this little weasel. And he said, go pick it up at the dealership. I had him fix a few things on it. It's all paid for.
Ah.
So we go down to pick it up. It's in Portland, so it's 90 miles out of our way. We go pick it up, and there's a $400 balance for the new alternator.
Oh, so the sleazeball who was a used car salesman?
No, he used to be, but this was just a private dealership thing. And after it's all over, he says, I used to be a used car salesman. I'm like, yeah, I can believe that. He was a horrible person. But anyway, so I go pick it up at Land Rover. I get like a block away from the dealership, and the fuel light goes on. And I'm in downtown Portland, and these things get 10 miles to the gallon, so I'm just frantic. And then I'm working my way to a gas station, and I get pulled over by a police officer because I have expired tags. This is all in my first hour of ownership.
Now, at this point, are you still in your pregnancy-induced insanity mode?
No. Now reality is slamming in. My husband is looking at me like I'm the biggest moron that ever walked the planet, and I'm having to agree with him. This is bad.
Yeah.
But this is just $400. Just $400.
It's not.
Right. Well, since then, we've probably spent $2,400 more.
Yeah.
In 4 months.
Yeah.
Alternator, speedometer, temperature switch, some electric was tipped that was $1,000. Horrible things. And my husband doesn't fit in the car. Did I mention that? He's tall. He can't fit in the car. Yeah.
So you really researched this, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Like I said.
You read consumer reports and got all the information?
He wants to sell this car, or actually trade it in, at a huge loss, just to get rid of it.
What did you pay for it, really?
$16,500.
Yeah, and you've spent another $2,500 for stuff.
So you're now into this for $1,900, $19,000 rather.
Yeah.
And what could you get for it on a trade?
Horrible, like 11.
Go for it.
Trade it in. Oh my God!
In a New York minute.
You're siding with my husband.
No, I'm not. Wait a minute.
I am.
Wait a minute.
Because the thing is, it has all these little expensive things that have gone wrong, but it's never left me stranded. And the horrible part is, I kind of like it.
Well, here's the thing. You like it.
Yeah.
The mistake that you actually made.
Which one?
No, I think out of all of them.
Is you married a guy, first of all, that was too tall. That's your first
That was your
mistake.
first mistake, yeah. Now, here's the mistake you made was you bought a car like a pig in a poke.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I don't know if you've ever heard the show before, but we have said 100,000 times, if not more, you never, ever buy a used car without having a mechanic check it out.
Okay.
I mean, this vehicle does not have a stellar repair record, but it's not that bad. It's not great.
But I would say it's below average.
It is below average. Yes, it is below average.
It is.
And when you have to have it fixed, it costs more than average.
And they don't have the parts generally, which means you have to wait longer than what?
Average.
Yeah.
Which means that you're without it longer than
Average.
Yeah.
Which means you drive less than
Average.
Yeah.
And you have
spends
fewer
more time
chances to
there.
have accidents because you're not in the vehicle.
Right.
Often
This is
enough.
true. This is true.
Yeah.
I spent the holidays at the dealership.
You bought this thing purely on emotion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
and
cute.
and you want to keep it purely on emotion, even if logic tells you that you shouldn't.
Right.
And
I'm going to propose a compromise solution.
are you?
That you and your husband
I got it.
agree on a time frame and money frame. That is, over the next, say, 6 months, you'll agree that if the expenditures are more than X, then you'll dump it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, something like, 8,000, 10,000. Yeah. I mean, give yourself some wiggle room.
But here's what I would do, Danny, is before you do anything, you can sort of make up for the earlier mistake by bringing it to your mechanic and have him check it all out as though you hadn't bought it yet. And he will give you a list of all the things that are wrong or imminently wrong.
Oh, I don't think I do that.
No, I mean, at least you'll know where you stand.
Yeah.
And
That's
then you
right.
can decide which things to fix right away if they're dangerous.
That's right. And then you can arrange for a home equity line of credit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not the worst vehicle in the world. It will serve you.
There's a motto for Land Rover. It's not the worst vehicle in the world.
Not the worst vehicle in the world.
There you go. There's an advertising slogan. If I ever heard
I'll
one.
suggest it to them next time we meet in court.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Hey, good luck, Danny.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad we were able to cheer you up.
Oh, yeah.
See you later.
All right, bye-bye.
I would keep it.
Okay, now, before we get to the new puzzle, we have to take a short break.
Time for a haircut.
Just a trim, actually.
Know that fizzy feeling you get when you read something really good, watch the movie everyone's been talking about, or catch the show that the internet can't get over? At the Pop Culture Happy Hour podcast, we chase that feeling 4 times a week. We'll serve you recommendations and commentary on the buzziest movies, TV, music, and more. From lowbrow to highbrow to the stuff in between, catch the Pop Culture Happy Hour podcast from NPR.
On Fridays, the 1A podcast is all about helping you cut through the info fog and get to what's important in the news. Close out the week with us on our Friday News Roundup. Hear from reporters who've been embedded with the biggest news of the week. Join us every week for the Friday News Roundup. Listen to the 1A podcast from NPR and WAMU.
The scary new movie Sinners, from the director of Black Panther, finds Michael B. Jordan playing twin brothers. It's got vampires, it's got great music, and it's a fun one to see with a big crowd.
This is the most excited I've been about a movie in a very long time.
We'll tell you why you should see Sinners on the biggest screen you can. Listen to the Pop Culture Happy Hour podcast from NPR.
Fall in love with new music every Friday at All Songs Considered. That's NPR's music recommendation podcast. Fridays are where we spend our whole show sharing all the greatest new releases of the week. Make the hunt for new music a part of your life again. Tap into New Music Friday from All Songs Considered, available wherever you get your podcasts.
We're back. You're listening to Car Talk with us, Click and Clack, the Tappert Brothers, and we're here to discuss cars, car repair, and the new puzzler.
Yes, I can hardly
now,
wait.
Now, as advertised.
It'll be brief.
This will be brief, because last week's was so lengthy, and it really wasn't that. I mean, considering the length of it, my brother's now looking at me saying, what was last week's puzzle? we just discussed it 10 minutes ago.
Doug, about Doug. Yeah, that was long, but it was good.
You liked it, huh?
I did, yeah.
Well, I'll see how you like this one, buddy.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
My neighbor Frank says to me one day, he says, I have 5 children. And I say, I know that. And he says, and half of them are boys. And I said, I'll get right back to you. Can you explain that?
Oh, that's it, huh?
Now, if you think you know the answer.
That's brief.
It is brief.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you think you know the answer or just have nothing else to do and you feel like taking a stab at it, mail your answer to Puzzler Tower, Car Talk Plaza, Box 3500, Harvard Square, Cambridge.
Our fair city.
Ma 02238. Or, of course, you can email us your answer from our website, cartalk.msn.com. Just click on the Talk to Car Talk section. And if we choose your correct answer at random from among all the correct answers that we receive, that is not all the correct answers in the universe, just the ones we happen to
you may write a correct answer on the back of an envelope.
And
you may discuss it with someone over coffee. But if we don't actually have access to it.
If we don't get it, then you get what?
You get squat.
There you go.
And that's it.
But if you don't get squat and you win, you'll get one of our new Car Talk t-shirts, proudly proclaiming that we are celebrating 10 years of bad car advice. Now, if you'd like to call us, the number is 1-888-CAR-TALK. That's 888-227-8255. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
This is Roger from Akron, Ohio.
Hi, Roger.
How you doing?
Great. I think I've got an interesting problem for you. And
lay it on us, Raj.
It's a 94 Toyota Tercel. The problem is that the first week or so after an oil change, and not every one, every third or fourth one, for no apparent reason, when I'm driving along, out of the tailpipe comes a cloud of thick, clingy, dirty white smoke. It could only be described as biblical in proportion.
Wow.
Really?
Now, when this has happened, how long had you been driving?
Sometimes it's initial, but for the most part, it's as the car is fully warmed up.
Car is fully warmed up.
Yeah.
So you've been driving for 15, 20 minutes.
Sure.
And
is there anything unusual? I'm sorry, did I interrupt? Is there anything unusual that has happened in terms of where you have driven or how you have driven that precedes this incident? In other words, if you just finished climbing a hill,
no, it can be
descending a hill, making a sharp turn,
nothing like that.
That had been parked for an extraordinarily long period of time before this.
No, it can be at high speeds or slow. It's only in the first week or so after an oil change, but not every oil change.
Right.
If taking the foot off the gas will interrupt it.
Well, I know why it's happening.
Well,
I don't know exactly how it's happening, but I know why.
Okay.
Would you like at least that part of the puzzle?
I would.
You would, huh?
Well,
all right. Here's what's happening.
Let me ask him one question, which is going to help you.
Okay. I don't need any help.
Well, it might help you to get to the next step.
Oh, I wasn't.
You weren't going to try to get to the next step.
No, not
all right,
really.
then go ahead. I'll wait.
No, go ahead. Ask the question.
No, my question was, do you always have the oil changed at the same place?
The dealer, right.
At the dealer.
Well, he hasn't changed at the same place, but
not
probably
necessarily the same
a
person.
different kid every time.
Well,
and what's
I'd
happening?
say one time out of 3 or 4, it's a kid.
The same kid.
Yeah.
One time out of 3 or 4, it's the same kid who is overfilling the crankcase.
Exactly.
Really?
I believe so, because what's happening is you are burning crankcase oil. Somehow or another, that oil, that overfilled amount of oil is getting into the crankcase ventilation system and getting sucked into the intake manifold, where it is getting distributed among the 4 cylinders, and that's the only thing that would account for a cloud of smoke.
Of that proportion.
Right. This density.
And I am not exaggerating on that.
I think it's great.
I'm sure it is. And you can, in fact, you can reproduce. It doesn't take very much oil to do this. You can actually reproduce this by taking with the engine running, removing the air cleaner, and with an atomizer filled with oil. You know, a squirt bottle. Yeah. You can squirt some oil into the intake, into where the air cleaner sucks the air into the engine, and you will get the same cloud, the same color, and everything.
I guess the guy at the delership, every time I get that kid, he just keeps pouring until it runs out.
Or he may be, maybe the thing's supposed to take 3 2/3 quarts of oil, and he's putting in 4, or maybe he isn't letting it drain long enough.
Yeah.
So he's not getting all of the old oil out.
Now that sounds likely.
But make sure you check the oil level after an oil change, and make sure it is not overfilled, and have your mechanic also check the operation of the PCV system.
Okay, so is there any related damage I should be concerned about?
No.
Okay.
No, the engine is almost just as happy to burn motor oil as it is whale blubber. See you, Roger.
Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
1-888-CAR-TALK or 1-888-227-8255. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
Hi, this is Michelle, and I'm from Foxborough, Mass.
Hi, Michelle.
No kidding.
Yep, and I drive a Mazda 626 DX 5-speed transmission.
Yeah.
Now, my scum-sucking husband cracked up my car in November. Okay? Let me tell you, I didn't care about him. I'm like, what's wrong with my car?
What year? It's a brand new one?
97.
What did he do? He smashed it into something?
Well, he said he was letting someone out.
Yeah, and?
And when he did that, there were 2 other cars involved, and somebody hit him on the driver's side and slid the whole front end over to the passenger side.
Oh!
So I was not a happy camper, and actually I'm divorcing him over this issue.
Well,
because
as well you should, Michelle.
He cracked up my car.
Right, and he was probably letting his girlfriend out of the car.
Probably.
Probably. No good bum.
That's right, no good bum.
Oh, my God. So now what?
So, of course, I take it to the dealer. Insurance fully covers the whole thing.
How is your husband, by the way? Did he suffer any injuries?
No.
Would you like to arrange? Oh, never mind.
I
would you like him to suffer some injuries?
Both his knees broken.
Wait, did they give you a number of how many dollars of damage was done here? Are we talking about the $5,000 range?
No, we're talking $10,000 range.
Oh, that's the whole car.
Pretty much.
That's too bad.
They had to replace the hood, the grill, the whole front end, everything. So I get it back a month later. They didn't fix it right. The front end was still offline.
Yeah.
It was still crooked.
Visibly? I mean, you can look at it and it looks cockeyed?
Yeah.
Ah.
So then I sent it back, and
Yeah.
they kept it for another week to fix it.
Well, they won't be able ever to fix it, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's my opinion too.
Right, because if they gave it back to you so that you could look at it and see that it wasn't straight, then these guys are losers.
Capital L is tattooed on their forehead now. So I drive it home, and it pulls to the right.
Yeah.
So I go back, and I say, listen, it's not driving right. It's pulling to the right. I'm having problems.
Yeah.
Fix it right.
Yeah.
Well, I had the tires balanced. I had 2 front end alignments done on it, and I had them pick that car apart from bumper to bumper. You know? And they're like, well, there's nothing we can do. We've done everything we can.
Well, has the insurance company paid them?
Yep.
Well, I think the first thing you have to do is tell the insurance company that they should go get their money back.
Yeah.
And then if they don't do anything about it, you're gonna have to sue people.
Ooh, I like that word. That's a good word.
Or if you haven't made any reconciliation with your husband, then you have to make a
Is that
deal.
unlikely, the reconciliation thing?
Definitely not.
So why don't you manage to give him this car in the arrangements that you make?
Well, maybe I will.
Yeah.
Well,
how long have you been happily married?
Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
We got married August 9th, 1997. And 3 months later, he cracks up my car, which I found no humor with.
Well, good luck with the lawyer.
So this is a whirlwind romance, so to speak.
Yeah. Well, tell the lawyer you got 2 cases for him now. One with
I
the
will.
husband and one with the insurance company.
Oh, I will then. I like being
Sew
in
their
court.
pants off.
Yeah, go for it, Michelle. I love lawyers.
Good luck.
Thanks for calling, Michelle.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Well, it's happened again. You vaporized yet another hour listening to Car Talk. Our esteemed producer is Doug, the subway fugitive, not a slave to fashion Berman. Our associate producer and dean of the College of Automusicology is Ken Babyface Rogers. Our assistant producer is Catherine Stewie, as in Oyster Stewie. Ray. Oyster Stew.
I like Crystal Ray.
Crystal? She doesn't like Stewie. I won't say it anymore. No, we'll go back to Crystal.
Enough is enough.
Our engineer
For
is...
God's sakes, there's no reason to hop on the kid.
No.
Come on, she's working hard.
She is. In fact, she's the only one that's working hard.
That's right. What is the story behind the oyster stew, though?
I guess she has gone to a few holiday dinners.
Yeah. I know. I know the story. I just wanted you to repeat it.
And she actually hates it. But she's trying to make nice by saying, oh, love it. Oh, yeah.
Real good.
She needs to develop an instant allergy to oysters.
Start sneezing and coughing.
Yeah, in the stew. Our engineer is Jonathan Marston, and our technical and spiritual advisor is Mr. John S. Lawler. Our public opinion pollster is Paul Murky of Murky Research, assisted by statistician Margin O'Vera. Our director of new product repair is Warren T. Myfoot, assisted by our customer care representative, Haywood Jabuzzoff. Our staff butler from the Car Talk Mumbai division is Mahatma Kote. Our document security expert from the island of Jamaica is Euripides Upman. Our East Asian used car expert is Alexander Solzhenitsyn. Bob Eaton's congressional lobbyist is Ben Upton DeHill, and our inventory manager is Mandalit Del Barco. Our evasive driving instructor is Vera Brumpley. Our junkyard manager is Ricardo Desmontalban. Our director of moral support is Hugh DeMann. And our Leo Tolstoy biographer is Warren Peace, author of Leo Tolstoy by Warren Peace. Our chief counsel from the law firm of Dewey, Cheatham & Howe is Huey Louis Dewey, known among the freeze-dried pigeons in Harvard Square as Huey Louis Dewey. Thanks so much for listening. We're Click and Clack, the Tappet Brothers, and whatever you do, don't drive like my brother or my sister.
Don't drive like my brother or my sister. My sister hasn't had an accident for days now.
I know.
Wow.
Miracle. We'll be back next week. Bye-bye.
And now, with an important announcement, here is Car Talk Boss's chief mechanic, Mr. Vincent Boombots. Vinny?
Hey, now, if you want a copy of this week's Car Talk show, which is number 6, here's what you got to do, all right?
Are you going to now give out the telephone number, Vinny? Is that the idea?
No, I'm going to come out with my own line of salad dressing. So the number is 1-888-CAR-JUNK. That's 888-227-5865.
And if people wanted other Car Talk junk like the tapes, the CDs, the T-shirts, would they call the same number, Vinny?
No, I think you called the American Kennel Club. Of course you called the same number. That's 888-CAR-JUNK. Or you can get stuff through the online shameless commerce division at cartalk.msn.com.
Vinny, I'm beginning to detect a little hostility here. You really have to learn to express your feelings a little better.
Hey, express this, jerko. Car Talk is a production of Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe and WBUR in Boston.
And even though Alex Chadwick can barely hold down his lunch when he hears us say it, this is NPR, National Public Radio.
Look, we get it. When it comes to new music, there is a lot of it, and it all comes really fast. But on All Songs Considered, NPR's music recommendation podcast, we'll handpick what we think's the greatest music happening right now and give you your next great listen. So kick back, settle in, get those eardrums wide open, and get your dose of new music from All Songs Considered, only from NPR.
Politics is a lot these days. I'm Sarah McCammon, a co-host of the NPR Politics Podcast, and I'll be the first to tell you what happens in Washington definitely demands some decoding. That's why our show makes politics as easy as possible to wrap your head around. Join us as we make politics make sense on the NPR Politics Podcast, available wherever you get your podcasts.
Conductor Robert Franz says a good melody captures our attention,
and then it moves you through time. Music is architecture in time. If you engage in the moment with what you're listening to, you do lose a sense of the time around you.
How we experience time. That's on the TED Radio Hour from NPR.